Hi, this is Adolfo from Life of Adolfo. I'm gonna give you a comparison Sorinex and Rogue just by looking at them. But first, I know I'm not doing this in my garage gym, so I might lose credibility. But I do have an RM6 Rogue. I'm not gonna be biased with him because my favorite rack, my dream rack, was the Apex Sorinex. Once again, I'm not gonna be biased with him, but I did do my research before on Sorinex, and I did my research on the Monster Cave now. So I'm gonna tell you the difference and what I recommend, but I'm gonna just cut to the chase. What I recommend is whatever you decide is better for you, but there's a difference. So I'm gonna tell you the main 4 reasons, but all of them probably have little things that trickle down on what I'm gonna mention. So the first one is the pricing. The pricing, Rogue has free shipping, Sorinex doesn't. Sorinex costs $6,999 with a dual functional cable system. Okay, that's key right there. The Rogue costs $5,595 or $1,500 less with free shipping, but it's a dual slinger. It's a big difference right there. Especially if you have a functional trainer, you know the difference. And I'm gonna explain to it at the end. So with that being said, Rogue at this point, if you're looking at pricing, Rogue is better. The second thing are the dimensions. The ones I saw in there. Rogue has a 24 or 30 depth, 21.5 to 41.5 depth, and for a 24-inch full rack or 30-inch full rack. Also, they provide 2 heights, the 100 and 90, and those are going to be key later on. With the Sorinex, they have the 104.5 total width and the 95.6 height, or the 121 width with 101 height. Those are key also, what I'm going to mention afterwards. Now, when it comes to attachments, this is where the pricing of Rogue is going to go up, and Sorinex as well, but Sorinex provides a couple things that are free. So on the Monster Cave, they have certain things that you have to buy, and the price is going to keep on going. I'm not going to mention the price, but there are things that you could add as attachments. Of course, there's going to be more attachments like a 50 count, so on, but these are the ones they provide for the Monster Cave, and that is the Monster single post shelves, the kettlebell shelf, the rack shelf, bar storage, and plate storage. On the Sorinex, what comes included: the shin bar, the bar storage, and the storage hooks. I assume that the storage hooks are basically the ones that you put the weight plates on. Now, the big difference is on the weight stack. I know that I told you right now that there's a 90 and 100 inch height on the Rogue. Now, when it comes to the 90 inch, it's for the dual slinger. What does the dual slinger difference is from a functional trainer or a lap pull down? I'm going to explain right now, because Rogue provides 3 types and Sorinex provides 2 types of power rack for this on the weight stack area. Sorinex might provide the 3rd one, but I'm not guaranteeing it's gonna be cheaper or more, because I haven't seen those parts with Sorinex yet like I seen with Rogue. So I'm gonna explain the three difference. So in Rogue, they provide a CT1, that's their basically functional trainer attached to the power rack. They also provide the LP1, which is their lat pull down system attached with the power rack. When I mean with the power rack, it's the Monster Cave. Now, what does that mean? Price is going to go up. Okay? On those 2, Rogue does not sell them on 90-inch high. They only sell them on 101. So if you have low ceiling, that part is eliminated for you. With Sorinex, they provide a dual functional, but remember, they don't provide a dual slinger, and I'm gonna explain what a dual slinger is according to what I saw. So a dual functional trainer, almost similar, that one costs $6,999, and you could get it at 95.6 of height. If you're trying to get the lat pull down, you have to get the 101 inch height. They do not provide it at 95.6, and that one is going to cost you $7,799. Let me go back with the Rogue. If you're trying to get the dual functional, remember it costs $5,495. You have to pay an additional $1,575 if you're trying to get the dual functional. Now, if you're trying to get the lat pull down in one of the functionals, you're going to pay the $5,595 plus $2,375. But remember, you got to get the 100 inch height. Now, what's the difference? I'm going to explain right now. But first, I'm going to tell you why I think that they want you to buy a higher rack, higher height. So I have a Titan Fitness lat pull down. It's 300 weight stack, and it's lower than 90 inch height. So if for a short person to pull down, the weight stack is so high that it hits the top sometimes. So if they provide 100 feet, for a short person, it's easier to pull it all the way down because it's not going to hit the top. Because remember, more weight equals more height on the inside. So that's one of my assumptions why they're providing that you have to buy a higher height. Maybe to eliminate the complaining or the hitting of the weight stack and the inside all the way to the top. In addition, they probably have a bigger slack of the cable, so you don't have to go all the way to the top to pull it down. That provides more gap so it doesn't hit on the inside. It's hard to explain, but if you have a lat pull down like I do in the Titan Fitness, it makes sense. Now, for the functional trainer, I'm not sure why it's only provided on 100 feet on Rogue and only 95.6 on Sorinex. Because on that one, you don't really need a lot of height on the top, because the cable is actually, it doesn't go all the way to the top. With that being said, I'm going to tell you the three difference on why, okay? So the dual slinger basically is for Rogue. They are the only ones that provide it. The bottom one that I mentioned, that's basically like buying an economy car windows that you have to manually do and everything. So what does that mean? Is that the cable pulley system has a pulley system on the top and a pulley system on the bottom. And the top one, you could use it for whatever exercise you want. You could even buy the lat pull down seat that Rogue has, so you could do the exercise. I'm gonna tell you what the pros and cons of that one. Right now, I'm gonna kind of tell you the con. To be able to use the bottom one, if you look at the image on Rogue Monster Cave, there's a cable hanging on the top on the left side. On that one, to be able to use the bottom one, you have to connect that one to the hook to the one on the bottom, on the top, and now you create an extra cable to use the bottom. This cable is on the outside of the frame, not on the inside. So that means that when you do exercises, it's going to be in the outside. It doesn't have a lot of effect or nothing. I'm just pointing out what it's done. On that one, if you look at the top, it's bolted. The top cable pulley system. So that one you cannot lower or pull up. The bottom one has two pins that you can pull out, and then you can move it to the middle. Now, to be able to use the cable system on that, it's going to have a lot of slack, or you could go to Home Depot and buy more slack and cut it so you could use it as a middle cable system, because it doesn't provide you that. If that's the case, they gotta give you so much cable for each time they're trying to lower it down, and they don't know your height, so they can measure your center mass. So Rogue provides that part. Sorinex does not provide that. Both of them provide a functional trainer type. That's the second option, the middle option of Rogue, and the lower option of Sorinex. Remember, the lower option of Sorinex costs $6,995. For Rogue, you just gotta add $5,595 to the $1,575, which is gonna be more than the Sorinex one if you do the math. Now, what's the difference with that? Both of them have a frame on the outside of the actual power rack 3x3 1-inch hole frames. On the outside, it's gonna have one. And the reason for that is because the pulley system from the top, you could pin it down to whatever part you want and it will stay there. And the reason it does that is because, like I said, I have a functional trainer. I looked at my functional trainer, and I looked at the Apex, and it's similar. So basically, there's a cable inside for the weight stack. A little bit on the, going closer to the outer part, there's a cable that is basically a dead, I want to say it's like a dead, they call it a dead weight. Basically, the cable is attached to your power rack. The second cable, this is the two cables, then they go, they hit the pulley system and they roll back to the direction they were coming from. The top one will go to the pulley system that you're putting up and down, and this one is going to go again to another pulley and it's going to go back up. The reason for that is because when you pull it down, you're releasing slack from the top, but you're gaining it from the bottom. And that creates the functional trainer type. Remember, the bottom one didn't have on Rogue on that one. That's why it's cheaper. Now, what's the pros and cons of having that compared to the Rogue, the other one? So I'm gonna be honest, what's the biggest difference? The biggest difference is once you put those two frames for functional trainer, the two side frames, I want to say they're kind of dead. They're only used for functional training, because now you're putting that extra bar that you cannot use your 3x3 1-inch holes as an extra thing to use attachments to the front. And the reason for that, like I said, there's a frame so you could pin down the pulley system. So you cannot put J hooks, you cannot put nothing like that. On the lower one from the Rogue, you could do that. You could put like I told you, you could put the share, so you could do lat pull downs. Now, if you want to do lower lat pull downs, all you gotta do is remove the share, and you could do lat pull downs. So that's the biggest difference on both of them, so you can understand. You could put J hooks, you could put your Matador, you could put anything. Your Matador is basically your dip, and you can put other attachments to that part that you cannot do afterward. On another one, if you're using it from the front, you could use the side of it for the Matador. Basically, this is facing you, and the Matador has to be on the side because you cannot pin it down. There's no holes on the front. Okay, you could use your landmine because it's on the side, because there's still a 3x3 1-inch, but it's hidden behind the bar. So that's the difference. When it comes to the adding an actual lat pull down, like I said, for the Rogue it's $5,595 plus $2,375. If you look at that, that's $2,700. For the Sorinex, it costs $2,799 plus shipping. So it's almost similar, but I don't know how much. I heard Sorinex charges a lot for shipping, so it might be more. Okay, now what does that provide? I also own lat pull down, the Titan Fitness. So basically on that one, the cables to do your cable pull down and your lower cable on the inside of the frame. And that what that causes is that you could do your exercises. Basically, you do your exercises and the cable is not going to bother you. Basically, that's basically it. And everything is hidden inside the frame. But the share is attached to the power rack. So if you don't want to have the share attached to the power rack, I recommend the Rogue Dual Slinger. Even though you will not be able to do middle or anything like that, it's better to get that one, the 5,495, because like I said, you go at the Rogue share for less, and you could keep on doing both exercises, but the cable is going to be in the outside. Sorinex is the same thing as the Rogue one. Everything is similar, inside cables and so on. So for me, what do I recommend? If you have a low ceiling, I recommend you get the Dual Slinger, because you could get it on a shorter version and everything is compacted. Now, if you want to be cheaper, you could get a Rogue RM6 and get the Freight Fitness lab pull down that is actually 3x3 with 1 inches, but the lab pull down is going to be lower than the 90 inches, I believe so. If it's the same height or a little bit higher, that's good, that's better. Why? Because your power rack is going to look even. Like for me, like I told you, I have the Titan Fitness. This is my 90-inch power rack, and you can tell the difference of the height because my Titan Fitness is lower. I don't like it a lot. I like the power, I like the lap pull down, but I like the Freight Fitness one because it has a 3x3 with 1 inch that resembles the power rack. With that being said, what do I recommend? Like I mentioned before, I recommend whatever is better for you. Do you want a functional trainer that you could do both cables, or do you want a functional trainer and a lap pull down, or do you want just so you could put an extra lap pull down share and use it? It's cheaper. For me, if I pick one of those three and I know what I know now, I'll probably pick the Dual Slinger that is cheaper and buy the seat, not the share, the seat, and now you sit there and just do pull downs, release it, and do the lower one. If I wanted 1-1, I'll do the 1-1 better. But Rogue only gives you 100 and the other one gives you the 95 only. So you just gotta think of what do you want. But if you want something that has the 2 weight stacks, then buy the 5,595. Because if you buy the RM6, that's 6 frames. This one is 8 frames, the frame post, and it's a $3,000 differential. So you're basically paying weight stacks for you're paying an extra 2 frames and 2 weight stacks for $3,000, which I think is a good price, honestly. And that's my review on them. Hopefully you guys do your own review as well, but hopefully this helps you a lot on which rack you should get. Thank you and have a good day.